perfectionism. She's like, Dawn, your perfectionism came to you today for a reason. Even your perfectionism is useful. It came up because somehow it has shown itself as valuable in your life and in yourself sometime in the past, or else it wouldn't have shown up. So she was asking a lot of me. She was asking me to look at something that I had always been, or that I had been trained and taught to see as bad and to try to get rid of and do my damnedest to try to get rid of, because bad cannot live with good and good cannot live with bad, right? Does this resonate with anybody, especially with religious upbringings, that black and white hypnosis that we can live under? So I was experiencing that again, and she asked me to look at my perfectionism and to look at it so deeply, to sit with it and look at it so deeply until I found that nugget, until I found that part of the perfectionism, and therefore that part of the perfectionistic me that is actually really, really great, and that has been dead useful, and then perhaps is even one of my superpowers. So I did. I sat and metaphorically, I sweated and I vomited and threw myself around, and it was ridiculous, this birthing process. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, I gave a couple of pictures to that process on Wednesday. And I found my superpower in that I was able to find not just acceptance, but really ownership and a wielding of a part of myself that I tried to cut off before, and that I tried to disregard, and that I tried to alienate from myself, and therefore I was trying to walk around less of myself, debilitated. So I woke up Wednesday, and the new moon had passed. I'd gotten some sleep, and I woke up Wednesday, and I felt freaking powerful. I felt light. I was able to laugh at things again, like for the whole day on Tuesday. I don't think I laughed once. Everything was so serious and everything was very heavy. So on Wednesday, the tides turned, and I saw that this program, even though it was my biggest and it was my first really, really big one, it's just a program. It really is. And it's just one program, one jewel in this whole collage of beautiful work that I'm meant to do here on this earth. And it provided space for me, and it provided space for my perspective to just expand and explode. And in that is power. That is empowerment. When you can take your shadow, and by shadow I mean, here's some terminology. By shadow I mean, instead of a characteristic or behavior being short of like the mortal sins, murder, incest, whatever, it's one of those characteristics that instead of looking at it as good and bad, we look at it in light and shadow. Okay? It's the darker parts of this extremely useful characteristic that we have. We all have our light and our shadow. It's the physical laws of the universe. There is always duality. There is always polarity. It's the planet that we live on. Okay, and Eastern medicines really beautifully reflect that. You've got your yang and your yin, your prana and your apana, and so start playing around with destigmatizing your sins, destigmatizing your hang-ups, destigmatizing your issues. I'm Guru Jagat, my teacher, a couple of months ago, she was quoting another teacher when she was saying, I am so sick and tired of yogis sitting down and telling me about their issues or that they have issues. Yogis, if you are following your dharma, you don't have karma. If you are following your karma, you don't have a dharma. And in non-yogi speak, what that means is as we move forward, let's kind of lose the hang-ups and the issues language, shall we? There's a place for authenticity and vulnerability, especially in social media. We definitely want to put forth an honestly human picture, but the authenticity porn where we're putting, especially as leaders, we're putting out way more of our shadow than we are of our light, okay? Because in these days, it gets followers, it gets attention, it gets you that little stroke of your ego. Look how authentic you are. Oh my gosh, it was so brave of you to come out with that. Yes, it was brave of you, but acknowledge your leadership, acknowledge your space, and get some really safe people, souls. Surround yourself with an incredibly supportive and warm and safe community, and dump your purse out there. Be human in front of them. Be fully human in front of them. Be fully vulnerable in front of them. But when it comes to your 500,000 viewers or your 10,000 followers, be vulnerable. Show them what vulnerability looks like, but inside your leadership. More on that later. I'm sorry, that was a bit of a soapbox. But I think it was relevant too, or else it wouldn't have come up. So yes, gentle listeners and viewers, sit with your perfectionism, sit with your greed, sit with your addictions, sit with your ramrodness, as a really good friend told me yesterday. The steamrollerness, especially you women out there. We're called bossy, we're called bitches, we're called cunts. Sorry, Mom. We're called ramrods, we're called steamrollers. What if you just sat with that and found your superpower inside? How big would you be? How much would you get done? So let's move on to the meditation. So the medical habituation meditation, or the addiction meditation, as it is also called. Let me read to you a blip about that. And it'll make sense once I show you the movement. The pressure exerted by the thumbs triggers a current of a reflex current into the central brain and under the pineal gland. Imbalances in this area, it's the imbalance in this area that makes mental and physical addiction seemingly unbreakable. So this is the movement, or this is the shape. You're going to curl your fingers into the upper pads of your palms, and you're going to take the flat part of your palm and you're going to press them into the temple gently, please. No craniotomies. And you're going to, right at your temples, and you're going to press your back molars together so that when you do that, you feel your cranial bones kind of shift and move under your teeth. And no breaking any bridge work either, please. And here's the mantra: Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. And you're going to mentally chant that. You're going to mentally repeat that. And as you do, with each sound, you press the back molars together. So, eyes are closed. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma, silently. And with each sound, you're going to press the back molars together and then release. Press and release. And this is for 3 minutes, but we're only going to be here for about a minute. So take a deep breath in. And out. And begin. after the 3 minutes, deep inhale. Project out the forehead, the sa, ta, na, ma. And then exhale and release. So my teacher, Guru Jagat, likes to say that's probably going to be the longest 3 minutes of your life. I personally love this meditation. I would happily do 5 minutes. If you are really good, if you're a visual person, you're really good at visualizing seemingly invisible things. As you're doing this, picture the top of your forehead, like where your soft spot used to be, your little fontanelle. Picture that space opening up, and a colored light, either gold or blue, coming down and then coming out your forehead, so that it would be an L shape if you were to the side. And I personally like to picture the letters, the words sa, ta, na, ma projecting out of my forehead, and it just keeps me focused. Okay, it keeps me from doing the grocery list. So 3 minutes, sa, ta, na, ma. Press those back teeth together, and let me know what you think.